in the
There we
hole.
go.
Live?
You're live, bro.
Okay.
Hope we caught that.
God, look at Dan with his whiskey in his hand. What's going on, guys? Dan Wise Media Group. We're back here with Amanda Simmons today. Amanda Simmons, singer, songwriter, local amazing artist here. And you're born in Yakima?
I was not. I was born in Florida, actually.
Oh, shit. What part of Florida?
Gainesville.
Gainesville. And guys, we're running early, so don't feel like you're going to miss anything. We're giving everybody a few minutes to jump on here. So I just moved here from Florida 60 days ago.
I saw on your social media, South Florida?
South Florida, yeah.
Nice.
Well, Melbourne. But I lived in South Florida my whole life. And for the last year, I lived in Melbourne. And then here I am in Yakima hanging out with you now. This is much more fun.
Nice. Fewer alligators.
You know, everybody's like, oh, Florida, you got alligators. I'm like, I've never had an encounter with an alligator other than like seeing it in the lake. It's not like they're chasing you down the street and kids are flailing down the street going, oh, there's an alligator chasing me.
Well, no, but they might end up in your pool.
That's true. That's true. We do have a lot of iguanas. Did you have iguanas in Gainesville?
No, it was too cold.
Too cold.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, they're more in the South Florida area, like in abundance to the point where you can now catch them and eat them.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me. I like to catch them and just play with them and pet them and give them names. I've actually got 2 lizards here in Yakima that hitchhiked.
Oh.
I had a plant on my front step in Florida and I brought the plant here. And 30 days after being here, I see this little tiny baby lizard running across my kitchen floor. So it must have been an egg that incubated because the sunlight was hitting the plant.
Yeah.
And then I put him in a cage in a little fish tank or whatever.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, I'm up at 3 a.m. getting a drink of water. And I'm like, that's no way another lizard. There's another lizard. My cat didn't find him. So yeah, I named him Florida Man.
Oh, that's cute.
All right. So
Love it.
I guess we can, what time is it now? We're close, right? We can do this.
3 minutes.
Yeah. What the
heck? Get started.
So guys, today we're going to be interviewing Amanda Simmons, and not only interviewing, but Amanda at some point, probably in the next 20 minutes or so, she's going to hop over into Studio B, which show them what Studio B is, Tony. So that's where Amanda is going to be performing. And what song are you going to be performing for us, Amanda?
It's an original. It's called All of the Truth.
All of the Truth. Okay. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So first, tell us a little bit about your journey as a songwriter, a one-woman band, and kind of what initially sparked your passion for music.
All right. I guess I'll start at the beginning. I've been told that I've been singing since before I could talk, before I could remember. So I think there's always been some intrinsic part of me that just has been drawn to music in general. And as soon as I could talk, I started telling my parents, hey, on the PBS channel, when I watched the symphonies, I love the violin. That's my favorite. It's the most beautiful. And I was like 4. And my mom is like, how do you even know which ones are the violin? How can you hear them? And I'm like, I just hear them. They speak to me like that's what I want. I want to do that. So I started asking to play when I was a toddler. And when I was 6 years old, on my 6th birthday, I got my first violin. My parents rented one and started me in lessons. They had to beg the local music school to take me on that young because she was like, I don't teach kids before 8. And
probably because the attention span and
and
is that why?
Yeah, the violin is hard for kids to pick up, and like you need lots of discipline, focus, attention, practice time at home, and just I understand as an instructor why you would make a rule just in general, like no, just until a certain age. But the agreement was that I had to be able to read sheet music before I started lessons.
That was the agreement from the
teacher.
Okay.
In order to take me on.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. I was homeschooled. And so, we could study whatever. And so my mom she got all the materials for learning about sheet music and she taught me how to do it. So, which was cool for her, I'm sure as well.
Is that like reading another language?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's, I guess music is like the universal language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the universal love language or is it the universal language?
I would say language because it conveys.
Right. I guess it could be the
all
universal hate language too, right?
Yeah. There's lots of
plenty of songs you could send to an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend that wouldn't be very lovey, I guess.
Yeah. It's a way to express emotions on a deeper level than words alone.
And so now you play 6 different instruments?
Let me count. Violin, guitar, ukulele, piano, recently the mandolin.
Okay.
And then singing.
Okay. So concluding singing, that's 7 different abilities. It's like a superhero kind of.
Sure.
And so we're going to pull up pull up her website, Tony, and tell us a little bit. I want people to know how they can find you, because not only do you go out and perform, you perform like weekly, right? Correct?
Almost
Okay.
weekly.
As much as you can get booked.
Yes.
And when you're not performing, you are teaching.
Yes, I have a private music studio at my house.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is my website. It's a very complicated URL. It's a musicamanda.com.
I thought she was serious. I was like, wait a minute. I remember it being easy. So musicamanda.com.
Mhm.
And when somebody, who's your ideal candidate, your ideal client? Like, who are the type of people that come to you for help? Is it more of singing? Is it instrumentals? Is it the age that you require?
I love a wide variety. I don't have a favorite age, a favorite instrument to teach. It's just, if you're passionate about learning and you are willing to be dedicated to practice, then cool, come on.
And you do that Monday through Friday? You're busy with that?
I'm very busy with it for sure, but now that I'm performing a lot more, I'm finding I need more time to prepare for that. So I'm actually only doing Monday through Wednesday from now on.
Are you taking new clients right now, or?
I have a wait list.
You have a wait list. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and can they find your wait list on your website, or they contact you and you put them on the wait list?
So if you scroll down a little on there, contact for lessons, that goes straight to my email inbox.
Click on that, Tony. Contact for lessons.
Yep.
Okay. So they would fill that out,
info,
and then you'd respond and say
I'll respond.
Get back to you in about 2 years when I've got some openings.
24 hours to 24 days, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now, how do you balance that? How do you balance the performing with this? Because you kind of just said like you're trying to find more time to perform. So let's say you get a gig. How much time do you require to perform at who hires you? Who's your ideal person that hires you?
My ideal person who hires me. I love playing at wineries, small intimate venues. Like I'm playing at the Seasons Bistro tomorrow night. So mostly like restaurants, pubs, wineries.
Because guys, wait till you hear this voice. She gave us a little sample. She was in the room, and I can imagine in a kind of a quiet setting that's not like a dance club type of a setting, but like a quiet, comfortable setting, because your voice resonates, and it's got a very powerful like punch to it.
Thanks.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're screaming at all. It just sounds like, and this room is not designed for this, and it sounded pretty good. So I can imagine it at like wineries, or even like an art show or something. I could see you doing this.
Oh, that would be right up my alley.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, anyone who's hosting an art gallery, an art show,
reach out, guys.
Reach out.
So let's go back over to how can people find you? In like your website kind of illustrates your lessons on the teaching. And what do we got over on Instagram?
So, and also on my website, you can see the little social buttons there. They'll take you to my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Oh, you got YouTube as well?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe don't go look at it yet. There's only 2 videos.
We got to start somewhere. Yeah. Let's pop over to her Instagram, Tony. So Instagram. So what kind of stuff do you share on your Instagram?
Right now, it's mostly just announcing show dates.
Okay.
Or, gigs.
So this is a good spot where people could go to see what's coming.
Yes.
Okay.
And then every once in a while, I'll post like a little reel, a video, something of me singing for like 30 seconds.
What's the last thing you posted on there?
Oh, it's been too long. Oh, scroll down. Here we go. This is Time After Time. So move your mouse to the right and then down. Oh, to the reel, to the left.
To the piano.
To the right,
okay.
To the right. There you go. Yeah, that's the one.
Now, do you do covers?
Mostly
cover. Okay. And you had the one you're going to sing today is an original, right?
It is.
That's awesome. What do you like doing better? Covers obviously probably grabs a wider audience because it's resonating with stuff they know.
I like them in different ways for different reasons.
Right.
Cover songs, I sing songs that I like and that I enjoy, and I like to put my own spin on them. So it's not, I don't like the idea of me being like a tribute band. Like, I think tribute bands are awesome and impressive, but I also really value like individual expression and, like taking someone else's work and interpreting it through my own lens. So that's super fun.
Do you have any artists that inspired you where like your sound comes from? Did you like take pieces and parts from other people that you're like, man, I really love this person growing up?
Absolutely. Growing up. Wow. We're going way back. Let's see.
She's 29, by the way, guys. So I don't know how way back we're going to go here. way back in my day, we had to walk uphill to the mirror.
Well, I think the first band I ever listened to was the Cranberries. My mom would play that all the time for me.
You
when
totally
I was like,
have a little bit of a Cranberry vibe for sure.
Cool.
Because she blasts her lungs too.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And you know, more like along my like personal taste in music, I guess, you know, like as you get into high school, you get your own CDs, your iTunes.
Like, what were you listening to in high school? Like, I was like big in the '90s music, like grunge, like Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots. Like, what was yours?
I think my top ones were John Mayer.
Okay.
And Paramore.
Okay.
Those were really big for me. Haley Williams. Yeah.
If I say yes.
Yeah. No. Well,
I'm horrible with like music.
I'll educate you later. I'll give you a playlist.
I'll get a tutorial.
Yeah.
I did, you know, so singing, because you've been singing forever. Can people that can't sing, can they learn how to sing?
Absolutely.
Like, could I learn how to sing?
If you have vocal cords and like.
Well, doesn't everybody have vocal cords?
I don't think so.
Not really? Is people born without them? Don't you need them to talk?
Not everyone can talk. So if you can speak, then
if you're born a mute, I'm sorry, guys, you will not be able to sing anytime soon.
Well, you said anyone.
Because I've always been told I have a good voice for talking, but when I try to sing, oh my God, I always thought I could sing because in my head I sing fantastic until I was at a wedding with friends, and my friend's little sister, who's like idolized me, she begged me to come up and sing Friends in Low Places with her. So I was like, all right, that's an easy enough song. Oh my God, once I could hear my voice, like, oh fuck, like Jesus. But yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. So you're saying there's a chance I could learn how to sing?
Yes.
God, I would
absolutely.
I would love it.
It's just, you have to be willing to be vulnerable, to put in the work. And it's really about the practice.
Right.
So it's like, once you have the knowledge and like, you know, the exercises to do, then
we might have to do a like a vlog of you teaching me how to sing. Because if you look, guys, if she can teach me how to sing, that's like, serious. I'm deaf-tone as it comes. So do you collaborate with anybody? Have you worked with any other either local artists, or have you gone on any tours or anything, or is this still kind of like figuring it out?
That's a lot. Okay, so I'll do one at a time.
Go ahead, unpack that.
Collaboration. I've been collaborating with other musicians since I was 10. I joined an orchestra when I was 10 and have always loved like playing with other people. And in college, I was part of a band that like kind of worked for the school doing like PR. And we did 3 big tours around the country in the summer, just kind of like going to different cities and playing cover songs. But yeah, so I was really lucky to get that experience early on, like when I was, 17, 18, like getting some experience actually like touring. And recently here in Yakima, ever since after the pandemic, when everything started opening back up, everyone was just so hungry for music.
Yeah, I bet.
And live music and performing and working together again. Let's see. I haven't like officially like joined any bands, but I've worked with different bands in Yakima, singing, playing the electric violin. The
electric violin.
Yes.
Is that different than a regular violin?
Absolutely. Well, like electric guitar and acoustic guitar,
So does it create a different, like an electric sound?
Yeah. So okay. I love it because you can create so many different tones and different sounds with it. So it's like with the acoustic violin, you have like your set tone pretty much. Like it's not going to have extra reverb or distortion, overdrive, any of those things. Like, you know what you're going to get. But with the electric violin, I have like my whole pedal board and like different effects that I can put on there. So it's really fun to have like more creative expression that way. And it's way easier for me to play guitar solos on the electric violin.
Really?
And oh yeah.
I know, yeah.
Because I've been playing that for way longer.
Next time you're gonna have to bring the electric violin with you.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure what instrument you were gonna bring. Guitar is what you bring. Guitar. An acoustic guitar.
Yes.
So teaching, and so what's your favorite part about performing, and what's your favorite part about like what's the most rewarding part of teaching? Because they kind of contrast, I imagine they're a little bit different.
Yeah, they are a little different. For performing, I think my favorite thing is connecting with an audience. It's a very like vulnerable experience, like sharing something that you created. Even if you're covering someone else's song, it's still like It's coming from my hands, it's coming from my voice, my brain. And you have like this kind of like transactional experience with people because you almost in a sense like have like held their attention captive for a bit because they're like, oh, someone is playing music, or maybe they've paid money to come see you and they're expecting, you know, to receive something of value in return. And so I'm up there like offering a gift to them, basically like, I hope you like this.
Do you find, and that's a good question, do you find like, because you're doing what you love to do, but you also have to provide, like you said, value for what somebody is showing up for. So is there a balance where you've also got to work on like your stage presence and your delivery? Because you don't just get up there and sing. I imagine you're like, do you look at yourself on video and say, all right, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna stand like this, or do you just go up there and just kind of like lose yourself in the moment?
It's a combo. So, you know, when you're first starting out, unless you have a really like natural knack for it already, like some people are just good at performing from a really young age, but I am very much about like analyzing, improving, finding things that I can do better. So I will like watch myself on video and be like, okay, I can be more engaging if I like use this body language, or, you know, use different dynamics in the song or whatever. So, I mean, it's really a whole experience. Stage presence is about, you know, communicating with your audience, captivating their attention, communicating different emotions. So I kind of forgot what our original question
you covered it.
was.
We're talking about just how you have to make sure you're entertaining and not just, you know, when somebody just stands in one spot and sings, it's almost like watching a video. If we sat here with just one camera angle, we're saying the same thing, but moving the camera angles around. People are like goldfish these days. They require like TikTok videos, like 8-second videos. Anything above that, they're like, I can't, my, what is it called? They're focused. They lose focus so quick. You know what I mean? So you need things constantly moving. So I imagine performing, you seem like you're energetic. Is that like a natural thing, or is that something a lot of artists, actors, when they're not performing, they're kind of like to themselves, like quiet. But when they're performing, they're becoming somebody else almost. It's like they're get to pretend to be the person they want to be. Is there any of like, is your real life, the way you interact with people, the same as when you're performing, or do you feel more confident when you're performing?
I definitely feel more confident when I'm performing because I know what to do, know what to say. I've done it for so long. And I also, I don't know, it feels like my truest form of myself that I'm sharing with people. And one-on-one, if it's with my close friends, I'm, you know, very similar, like energetic, bubbly.
Are your friends artists too?
I do have lots of artist friends, not all of them. What was I saying? Oh, I lose my train of thought very easily. So that's another thing, is like I get very nervous, like talking.
Are you nervous right now?
A little bit.
Awesome.
You can see I'm trying not to spin in my chair. Like no, stop. Hold still.
The 6-year-old kid's popping out.
Yeah, I mean, I get a bit of social anxiety, you know, talking to people, just because I don't always know what to say, how to act. And I will go into that analyzation mode of like, hey, don't say something dumb, stop like fidgeting with your hands, things like that. But on stage, it's different. I feel really comfortable.
You're performing. It's like, I imagine if you were to go into a strange part of town or a strange land, you know, different state where nobody knows you, and you were to go out to like and engage with a group of people, you know, and you're not there to perform, it's almost like, how do I make these people know what I do so I can get up and perform? Like I find myself wherever I go, when people are like, when I don't know the area, I want people to know that I'm into podcasting and I love to make YouTube videos. And it's almost like a self-aware thing where I like I crave for the audience to look and want to hear me. It's almost like an issue I have, I think. Because everyone's like, oh, you make YouTube videos. I'm like, really? I love to hear myself talk more than anything, you know. And I like to watch myself on video, which is weird. I watch all my own videos.
Oh, I mean, me too. I mean, there's something about being a performing artist. It's like we're fascinated with this idea of being seen, and I don't think that that's like a narcissistic, egotistical thing. Like I view like I'm very like public with like posting like, you know, stuff on Instagram, and like I love sharing my life with people in a very public way. And not everyone like has to be that way, but I find like a sense of art in that,
Right.
like that this shared experience that we have with everyone. And I think, music is so powerful in that way that like we can all communicate in this language and have that shared emotional experience together.
So when you say share your personal life, because I always question this with people I have the conversation, I think there's two different kinds of sharing. Like I'll see some people post on Facebook, they'll talk about like they're going through a breakup and they'll talk about how the person, they kind of air out their dirty laundry almost on social media, versus other people will share their kind of their journey, where they are, pictures of their family and friends, and more of the, not so much the intricate details, but kind of like the overall experience. Do you share like private stuff? Like if you're having a bad day and fighting with your boyfriend, do you share like that kind of stuff on Facebook?
So, how do I put this? I really have no problem sharing most of the details of my life as long as it doesn't hurt other people or embarrass other people.
Right.
So it's like someone who's like going through a fight or going through a divorce and they're telling everyone what the other person did.
Right.
It's like,
because they're probably doing it out of a spot of anger.
Yeah.
If they really thought it through, they probably wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not, blaming people for oversharing in that way. Like they're looking for healing. But like me personally, I love sharing like what's going on with me that I'm comfortable sharing, not really about other people.
She's got the most adorable, you're perfect for this like art form of the hair, the singing. It almost seems like, is this real? Is she real? Is she like, is this an act? As soon as the camera goes off, she's like, fuck. You must get
Mom,
that.
I don't curse. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, is your mom watching?
Probably.
Is she's here?
No, she's in Florida.
Oh, Florida. You came here by yourself?
Oh, no, I'm married.
Oh, you're married?
Yeah.
So do you have married kids?
No, it's just me and my husband and our chihuahua.
What's your chihuahua's name?
Buddy. I saw on your lock screen you have a chihuahua too.
I do have two.
What's his name?
Sir Ted and Jedi.
Oh, adorable.
They're my babies.
Aww.
Yeah, they go everywhere. They're terrified of the 4th of July, so I just stay home and wear baby Bjorn. And Ted's bouncing around on my chest. So no kids yet?
Nope.
Is your husband an artist?
I would say he is, but that's not his career.
Okay.
That's just something he, does for fun.
Does he go to all of your shows?
No, because I perform a lot.
Okay.
And I will tell him which ones. I'm like, hey, this one's really cool. I want you to be here for this.
Oh, if I would have known, we would have brought him in today.
Well, he's working.
Okay.
So I dropped him off at work.
Dropped him off for it. Okay. So what's your next show? It's tomorrow?
So my next solo show is tomorrow night at the Seasons Bistro. So at the Seasons Performance Hall, if you haven't been there, it is like an old historical church building. And in the back, there is a restaurant that's like a really cool, intimate performance venue. So that's tomorrow at 6.
Nice. And do people need to get tickets for that?
Yes, it's $15. You can do tickets online or at the door. And then the next time I'm playing is actually tonight at Downtown Summer Nights. I'm playing electric guitar with Bella. Yeah.
Okay.
So we go on at 6.
Is it already Thursday again?
I know.
Good Lord. So people right now that are watching are like, do I want to go spend $15 to watch Amanda sing? Maybe we should give a little taste of what you got going on over here.
Sure. Give him a preview.
Give him a preview. So Amanda's going to go hop over there. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to set up.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
A little. I've never done a podcast before. This is a fun new experience.
We should have some of your do you have like followers, fans in the area that come watch you?
Yeah.
We should have them come show up in the studio and hang out today. That'd be cool for them to get a little behind the scenes. All right, go hop in there, Amanda. And me and Tony are going to switch spots for a minute.
We're going to switch.
Why don't you sit in Amanda's?
Video and photos.
Testing. Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Amanda.
All right.
Here we go, guys. Get some pictures and stuff now.
Okay. So this is my original song. It's called All of the Truth, and I hope you like it. I go to the garden alone, fall to the ground, crawling low, combing the earth for the core of the fruit that I thrown on the day we found that old tree that had grown in our home. I wander the garden through dust and decay, the familiar paths twist into a maze. The hedge of protection went up in a blaze. We were never secure. There was no way that we could have stayed. Oh, what would you do if you'd been in my shoes? Oh, all that I wanted was all of the truth. I returned to the garden alone, fall to the ground, lying prone, begging for mercy. Please let this cup pass from me. Can't forget what I've seen, but I'm not ready to leave. Oh, what would you do if you'd been in my shoes? Oh, all that I wanted was all of the truth. Where do we go from here? Drink to the phone and swallow your feet. Anchors away, my teeth. Oh, what would you do if you'd been in my shoes? Oh, I'll keep on searching for, asking for, begging for all the truth.
My goodness. That was absolutely amazing. All right, come join us, Amanda. My goodness.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was
Wow.
that was pretty captivating.
Thank
Tony,
you.
what did you think of that, Tony?
It was beautiful. Yes.
Man, and I can't imagine. I hope it sounded as good through the microphone as it did in person, because it sounded great in my headphones. But my God, what a voice! It's like the
Thank
voice of
you.
an angel.
Aw.
That's like a natural talent. You were always good out of the gate. You were saying earlier, right?
No, not always good.
Okay.
I have put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into practicing and, researching, taking lessons. So, I started singing when I was a little kid, but it was not, it didn't always sound like good. I had to really work hard to hone the talent.
And that's kind of what, the whole concept of these interviews, obviously showcasing the talent and whatnot. But what would you tell somebody right now, a young girl, a young boy out there that's, into something musical, artistic,
Mhm.
and he's at that threshold where he's going to go for it or not go for it? Like, what are some of the tough days? Like, how do you overcome? Like, because it's not every day is like, every day, I'm sure you don't imagine you're going to feel like you're a star every day. There's days where you're like, fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah. Some days you feel like, why am I doing this? I suck. Like, I'm terrible. But if you keep putting in the work, if you keep showing up, you are going to see results. And at some point, it's like that snowball effect. You know, the more results that you see, the harder you're going to want to work. And then, you know, the reward like keeps you going, or at least keeps me going. And so it's like going to the gym, you know, day one, it will feel good. But then the next day you're like, wow, that really hurts. I don't want to go back. It's like, why can't I squat 315 pounds yet? Like,
Are you squatting 315 pounds?
no,
Okay.
but I don't stop going to the gym and working on it.
So what have been some of the biggest challenges as going, because now you're making money with it, and before you were teaching, did you have like a regular job prior to teaching?
I've worked a couple different like non-music jobs.
Okay.
Let's see. Before teaching, well, teaching was the first thing that I did as soon as I like moved out of the house and got married. Before that, I grew up not in a grocery store, practically in a grocery store. My family owns a grocery store in Florida.
Oh, really? Which one?
It's called Spires IGA, Spires Market. It's actually the oldest grocery store in Florida.
Really?
Fact.
And
yeah.
that's in
It's in Lake Butler.
Lake Butler. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
It's near Gainesville. Do you know where that is?
I know where the jail is in Lake Butler.
You might know some of my family members who work there, not who work there.
We can. She has no idea, does she, Tony? It was a whole other conversation there. But yeah,
I have lots of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't make my money from podcasting, you know, not yet. I'm a prison consultant. That's what I do as a trade.
But today's about you.
Yep. So Lake Butler, there was a guy, his name's Brian Bruton, who he escaped from Lake Butler. He was one of the inmates that convinced a female guard, like kind of made her fall in love with him, and she snuck in prison outfits and all kinds of stuff. It was like, it could have been a movie. But yeah, Lake Butler. Was that right out of Lake Butler?
Whoa.
Lake Butler's a little kind of bumpkiny town, right?
It's a cow town.
Cow town.
It's precious and has its charm. I grew up next to the lake. So yeah, I did see lots of alligators.
So you would have seen lots of alligators. South Florida, Palm Beach County, it's a little bit more, you know, like probably in Lake Butler, apologize. In Lake Butler, most people that are there probably are from there, right?
Yes.
In South Florida, you meet somebody that's from Florida, it's like, wow, you're from Florida. Most people are like New York, and
big melting pot.
Very big melting pot. Yeah.
Super cool.
Do you miss Florida at all?
I miss my family. I miss the beach. But I never really felt like I belonged there. Like it wasn't my climate.
And how many times did you go to the beach when you actually lived there?
Quite a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it's great.
I do miss the beach, but I love the small town feel of like where we are now. It's small enough, but they're still engaging in like they got a cool downtown area. It's very artistic.
I like it. I love the culture that Yakima is developing right now. Like it's awesome. That's why we stayed.
If you could give some advice to the younger Amanda, go back to like 10 or 11 years old, what's some advice that you would give somebody that's at that age that's kind of wondering, you know, because did you have to deal with, was there ever any teasing or people telling you couldn't do it? Did you have to, you know, block that out, or was everybody supportive?
For the most part, everyone has been really supportive. My family has been very, very supportive of me. They put in so much time and money into taking me to lessons and encouraging me. I was also homeschooled, and I was kind of sheltered. And so it was just, you know, me and my family. Me and
my family and the cows.
And the cows. The cows never said anything mean. Yeah, I didn't really like start facing real criticism until like I went to public high school. And so then I had to face the harsh reality of dealing with people, and not everyone is going to be nice. And so I think if I could go back to my 10 or 11-year-old self and say, you know, like, hey, like you're homeschooled, you have all the time in the world, like start working harder. Like the work that you put in now is just gonna compound over time and earn interest, and, you know, and
you got to do it for the love, I imagine, right? If you've got somebody that's thinking, oh man, I've got a great voice, I could probably make money with my voice. There's a lot of great voices out there, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna make money with it. You kind of, how much luck is involved and the right person hearing you?
Oh man. So doing music for passion and doing music for money, it's like it's two different approaches. Because okay, if I want to give advice to someone who wants to do music for passion, be like, hey, just do it because you love it, because you want to make something beautiful and bring something beautiful into the world, and practice and like learn the things that you're interested in. For someone who wants to make money, I would say don't worry so much about what you think you're supposed to do or what you want to do, but do what works at the time. Because like if you have a good voice, that's a skill. You can leverage that skill. So let's say that there's a hole in the market in town and they need more like live musicians, or maybe there is a band who needs a singer to sing their songs. Like you take those opportunities and you gain experience, you get some income. And once you have enough of like the experience and a following, you can leverage that and start moving more toward like the gigs that you really want to do and, creating your own.
Do you have a manager?
A manager? No.
Yeah. What? Have you ever do you want one, or is it just not at that point yet?
If I get to the point where financially I can justify having a manager, that would be amazing, because emailing people, like responding to emails, is like the worst thing in the world to me. Like
responding to like people that are interested,
inquiries, just questions. If I open my inbox and I see more than like 15 emails, I'm just like
overwhelmed.
Shut the computer. I'm like, no, we're doing this another time.
Is that what a manager would do?
Probably respond to the emails. And, yeah. See?
Because I would imagine like, so if you have a manager, I guess they probably get whatever the percentage is, no matter what, whether you book your own gig or they book it, they still get a percentage, huh?
I imagine that's how that works.
Now it would make sense if like a manager is like, hey, I'm only going to get paid on what I bring you to the table, but anything you find, you keep yourself. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I imagine if I was a manager, I'd be like, look, I'm either going to do it or I'm not. You're going to go out there and find your own gigs.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Where do you see yourself in like the next 5 to 10 years? Like what's kind of the plan for Amanda Simmons?
Big things are coming now. I feel like every local band says that big things are happening. I'm now that I kind of have established myself like as a local artist a little bit, I feel like I'm going to start sharing more original material and hopefully record an album, put that out. And I would love to do like a Pacific Northwest tour or something. Cool. So like within the next 5 years, that's kind of like on my bucket list.
How many of your own songs do you have
that I'm like, ready to share with people?
Yeah, like
3 or 4.
Like what you did today.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
You wrote like, how long did it take you to create that song? And where did it come from? Like what inspired that song?
So that song just came tumbling out of me like in the course of 48 hours. Like,
really?
Yeah. Some songs you work on for years and you're like, oh, it's not done. Like I can still add more to it. But that one just like came to me. It was at a really pivotal moment in my life last year. I was really unhappy with a lot of different aspects of my life, like struggling with a lot of depression and anxiety, as a lot of people do, especially coming out of the pandemic. And I wanted to make some big changes and improvements. And so that song, like on a very specific level, is about me like leaving my religious group that I've been part of for my entire life. And it was
what can you talk about it?
Maybe not on the podcast.
Okay.
You can ask me questions later.
Okay.
But yeah. See, I'll share details about myself, but not other people.
Right.
And yeah, I was asking myself some really hard questions that I had been afraid to address for a long time, but I tried to keep an open heart and an open mind. And I followed the information and the data to its logical conclusion. And that meant I needed to leave. I couldn't deal with the cognitive dissonance. And so that's what the song is about. There's that line. It's like, I can't forget what I've seen, but I'm not ready to leave. But I couldn't stay. Like,
I should have had this conversation first before the song. You just gave me chills down my spine.
Well, you can go back and listen to it later.
It's gonna be an episode of Black Mirror any second now.
I hear there's a new season.
It is. It's amazing.
I'm gonna watch it later.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, so that's, I would say right now, the most meaningful song I've written, because it was me like making big, scary decisions.
You can feel the emotion in it when you sing. Your voice hits like these certain parts where it's not just because you have a beautiful voice. It's like you can almost feel like a combination of like emotion, like just poof, kind of pops out.
It's hard to sing because I like start crying while I'm singing.
That's me. I think I've cried on every fucking podcast. If I would have known this, hearing you sing it, oh my God, I don't know if I could finish the interview. And if I fucking had somebody step in. Isn't that crazy?
You need
I know. How can we, Tony, why don't we have tissues here yet? My God.
Sissy.
But yeah, no, that's I was gonna ask you that. Do you ever get emotional on stage when you're singing, or like if certain people are in the audience that you haven't seen in a long time?
Oh man, when friends show up to shows that, like, if I haven't seen them in a while and they're there to see me,
and you don't even know they're there, you just see all of a sudden you see their face while you're performing.
It's the best feeling ever, but I have to be like, oh, don't run off the stage and go give them a hug. You have to wait. And I'm like, don't leave. Like, as soon as I'm done, like, yeah, it's
That's
great.
cool.
It's a great feeling.
Now, do you ever have irrational thoughts or like nightmares of getting up on stage and like forgetting everything and just kind of does that happen?
Yeah.
And has it happened?
Forgetting everything? Not really
everything,
I mean,
but like a moment of like I just fucked up, and you have to kind of just go with it.
Oh yes, I mess up all the time. I messed up doing that song earlier, but you didn't know.
I
just kept rolling with it, right?
So that's the advice. Let's get somebody that wants to do this, wants to perform, but they're afraid of what happens if I make a mistake, or what do you do in that moment? Like, how do you overcome it?
Listen, 99% of the time, people are not going to notice that you made a mistake unless you go, oh, I messed up. Like, that's my biggest advice is like, hey, if they're not going to see it, you just keep rolling. You own it. It's like, oh yeah, I meant to do that verse again. Like, or I didn't like that verse. I forgot it. Or I just wanted to try a different chord. Like, you keep rolling. If it's a really, really bad mistake where it's really obvious, then I will like stop and make a joke about it.
I was going to say, do you ever throw in some humor to kind of like, oh, Jesus, guys.
You have to be able to make fun of yourself.
Right.
Like, not in a mean way, but
like practicing humility.
Yes.
It's probably an important balance.
You cannot be prideful in this industry.
Right.
And
you gotta have thick skin, right?
No, I don't have thick skin. I just keep going.
I think your skin's probably thicker than you think. To be able to get out there and stand up in front of an audience and sing, you know, even though you know you're good, it's still a level of being vulnerable. You're exposing yourself. Like that's kind of like all of your powers right there.
Yeah.
Did you watch? So you performed last week as well at Summer Nights. Did you see Coaster's performance in the end?
Yes.
And I was like,
I wasn't there for the entire thing, but I saw like
we saw where some of the technical issues where the microphone kept going out, and he decided you had to roll with it. You know, there's audio.
Keep going.
Have you had that where like all of a sudden sound engineering or whatever just goes off, and you're like, nobody can hear you, and you just kind of have to stand there and wait a minute?
So I usually run my own sound at my gigs, me or my husband, if he's there, like he'll help me out. And things happen. Like my acoustic guitar battery died a couple weeks ago, just in the middle of a song. And I just kept going.
Have you learned like tricks and how to prepare better? Like each time when you go, you're like, all right, bring an extra microphone, bring extra cables.
Yes.
Stuff breaks.
Yeah. Extra cables, extra batteries for the guitar, extra strings. Yeah. And when something goes wrong, it's never what you prepared for. It's always some new thing that's an issue. It's like, what? That's never happened to me. Are you serious?
And it's so hectic right up until the moment, right? Like, because you feel like, what did we forget? What did we forget? Even preparing for today, there's always like, there's always some little minor detail that didn't get picked up on for whatever reason. Do you guys create a checklist of things you need to bring with you when you go perform? Because you're just a one-man show. So what are you really bringing? You're bringing instruments, obviously.
So if I'm not plugging into a sound system, like Downtown Summer Nights, I had all the sounds there. So I just needed to bring my other equipment. If it's just me and I'm bringing all my stuff, I bring my PA system, a monitor, my keyboard stand, all the instruments, their stands, my pedal board, all the cables that connect everything. It's like building like a little Lego creation every time. It's like, okay, I lay all of my cables out and I'm like, connect all the dots. And Like I'm very used to it now, but in the beginning I would make checklists because I would forget something every time. But now I just kind of have like all my stuff like lives in one spot in my living room. And when it's time for a gig, I pack everything up. And if I see anything left, then I'm like, oh, I need to grab that.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. So guys, they can come out and watch you tonight at Summer Nights.
Yeah.
That's a free event.
It is.
That's a free event. What time are you performing?
We're going on at 6.
6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. So not too long from now, you'll be over there.
Yeah. What time?
I don't know. I still feel like East Coast to me. It feels late right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm still adjusting.
Yeah. I'll have time to go home and practice.
Are you gonna go and practice?
Oh yeah. I'm playing the electric guitar, which is
that's gonna be fun.
not my main
Are
instrument.
you gonna like
but
rock?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best.
You have an outfit planned?
I'm gonna go home and pick one out.
Okay. It's gonna be fun. Tony, if we get some time, we'll pop over and watch.
For sure.
Yeah.
Support.
It'll be a good time.
I'll be the guy with the lighter.
Sweet.
Well, Amanda, I want to thank you for coming out. Again, tell everybody while Tony pulls up social media, tell everybody one more time how they can find you, and if there's any awesome words you want to leave these amazing Yakiminians with.
Yakiminians.
I made that up.
I like it.
You can use it.
Yeah. Okay. So my social media is Amanda Simmons Music on Instagram and Facebook. And my website is musicamanda.com. So you can contact me on there. And also my social links are on my website. So if you forget the other one, it's musicamanda.com. And any parting words of wisdom? I think I would encourage anyone who enjoys music, even the slightest bit, to not be afraid to learn how to improve or to like delve deeper into an instrument. Like you don't have to make a career of it. You don't have to make money doing, playing music. I mean, you can just, sing in the shower, sing in the car, play your guitar at home, or share it with your friends. I mean, be that guy, bring your guitar to the campfire and be like, well, anyway, it's Wonderwall. Like, we don't want to lose that part of our culture. Like music is such an important connection between people. And I really just want to encourage people to keep that alive. Awesome. And don't forget, if you need some music lessons, this is the person you probably want to go to. It's got to be fun having music lessons with you. Yeah. If I don't make you cry. If you don't make me cry. Yeah. Are we going to do that? Is that an idea? We'll talk about it. I like this idea. I think it's an idea. Yeah. We can vlog it and share the journey. Power to Amanda. Well, guys, I want to thank Amanda for coming. This was another fun interview. Go check her out tonight at Summer Nights if you can. Check out all her social media. And I'm Dan Wise, Wise Media Group. I'll see you guys next time. People helping people, communities method, one day at a time. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you. And then